Hi, guys. Exciting news for season 4. The Thrive Tribe newsletter is for everyone and it's free.
To sign up for our newsletter and to get more out of Chasing Brighter and engage with our amazing community, go to chasingbrighter.com/newsletter to get the latest updates.
And every month we have freebies, so check it out.
Welcome to the Chasing Brighter podcast, the podcast created as a guide to make midlife the best life.
Are you ready to embrace the next chapter of your life with confidence and excitement? Your best life is just a listen away.
You know, well, we've talked so much that we're both dreamers, would you say?
100%.
This podcast was a dream, and I think that it inspired this episode because we want to talk about, like, what if your dream isn't silly? What if is there a dream that you keep brushing off? The one that you say is too late or it's not realistic? What if that dream is actually a breadcrumb to something bigger?
We always are, some of us, I guess, have really quieted our dreams. We've gotten ourselves buried under responsibilities of life and self-doubt and fear of being judged. But maybe it's a business idea, a creative pursuit, or a vision of a different kind of life. We label it unrealistic or too late or just a hobby and move on. But what if that dream is actually trying to tell you something? Like Jesse said, what if it's a breadcrumb leading you toward purpose, a path that eventually can support you financially and emotionally?
Yeah, we want to talk about what it means to turn your passion into purpose and maybe even a paycheck. Whether you're in midlife, a career transition, or just feeling stuck in the shoulds, this episode is about tuning back into what lights you up and taking brave, doable steps forward.
As we approach this topic, we want to talk about the difference between hobbies, side hustle, and soul work. So not everything we love has to become a business, but some things could. Hobbies are fun. It's a means of self-expression, and they don't need to be monetized. They serve a valuable role in your life and kind of bringing you fulfillment just as they are. A side hustle, it's something that you do alongside your main work, and you're exploring interests, and maybe you're generating a little extra income.
And soul work is something deeper. It's that alignment. This is what I'm meant to do. It energizes you, grows you, and connects you to something beyond yourself. So knowing where your passion fits right now helps you give it the attention it deserves without unnecessary pressure. I have like a hobby that I did for a while when my children were younger, where I was crocheting little hats, little beanies.
Yes.
And I was having fun, and it was a form of self-expression. And then people started taking orders. Kelly has a friend that owns a small business, and I gave them to her to sell at her business. And that took away the fun for me. And I didn't have the intention for it to be a side hustle. I didn't have the intention to make money. And so I had to pull back a little bit. And so I think that was a great experience for me to kind of explore, what is this about? And I think that I love it. And I still crochet and I make blankets and I do all kinds of things. And I just being able to know, what bucket it goes into takes the pressure off, like what we're talking about, right? It's unnecessary pressure sometimes.
Yes. And then, there's this fear of judgment, the fear of failure that kind of keeps us stuck. And so, we silence our dreams in a lot of ways, not because we don't believe in them, but we're afraid of what others might think. And we're afraid of maybe them not being successful. Like, what if I fail? What if I'm not good enough? What if people laugh? What if it's something that's already been done before? And is there space for me? That's sometimes what I think about too. But, that fear of visibility, of failure, of not doing it perfectly, it really keeps us frozen. And here's the truth. Every big thing starts messy. Nothing is easy. And every person you admire once felt that exact same way. So you don't need to be fully confident. You just need the courage to begin. And I think that's really such a critical part of the whole thing. You know, even for Jesse, you and I, like a lot of people really admire people who start their own business and do their own thing and don't feel like they could do it. And we just did it. We started a podcast. We just did it. It really
Yeah.
took the courage to do it. I think that what I found as I've gotten older is I don't know if I'm ever afraid people are going to laugh at me, because what I'm finding more and more is there's admiration in just taking that step and having the courage to do it. You know, I don't know
Yeah,
if you
I'm
feel that
not
way.
a what ifer. I don't have anxiety, so I'm not a what ifer. And I don't care if I fail. What do they say? Like, right, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. And there's that study out there about Michael Jordan, how many shots he missed. Have you heard that? Michael Jordan said that he missed more than 9,000 shots in his career. And that's not anything we're thinking about, right? And so I think about that too of statistics. And it's like, yeah, like I'd rather do something like I have had other little businesses I tried to eke out and they totally failed. And I learned a lot from it. And, you know, it was great to just try. So I really kind of err on the side of like just trying and, you know, seeing what
Yes.
happens for sure. You know, another piece is just looking at practical steps to turn passion into purpose. So we can take that dream, give it a little structure without overwhelming yourself. So we have
A
3
couple.
steps to help put structure to the dream.
So, you know, one of those is really identifying your passion zone. So maybe you're going to use a simple Venn diagram, which is a couple circles. And one of those circles is, what do you love doing? Another circle is, what are you good at or willing to get better at? And the third one is, what do people need or what do you value? And then as you list those, there's going to be some overlaps. There's going to be things that kind of fall into multiple categories. And the idea is really looking for that sweet spot, that spot in the middle that hits on all the marks. And that's really where the magic is.
Yeah. Yeah. You can start really small. Okay. So start small. Share your art on social media. Offer to help a friend with your skill. Host a mini workshop. Start writing or recording just for fun. There's no need to build an empire overnight. So small moves create momentum and confidence. So you use a Venn diagram, you figure out where the passion is, right? And then you just put that into play with a very small step.
You know, this is a good one for me on this topic too, which is using your anxiety as data. Meaning, like, what is that you're feeling? What are you nervous about? It's sometimes not fear. Maybe it's excitement that's being disguised as fear. Some of those little, we'll call them little like yellow flags that get raised that are from anxiety. Those might be informing some other things that are going on, right? Like maybe you're scared or you're not sure about stepping into something new. Explore that and really try to work through even some of those objectives and use that as energy to fuel you. An example I think about for myself is, you know, we bought this lake house with the goal of doing Airbnb. And it's like, well, everybody has an Airbnb, and aren't there already a lot of Airbnbs out there? And so that is a blocker. That's an objection to just leaning in and going with it and seeing where it lies and figuring out how you're going to do it differently, and sort of using that fear of like not being just a regular run of the mill Airbnb is really what's fueling us to do something different in that space.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that, you know, our final piece, like with what you're talking about, when you're building something that is aligned with your values, it reduces anxiety, even if it's a slow growth, because it brings a sense of purpose to stabilize you. So even if it's not a full-time gig yet, carving out your dreams gives you a sense of control, a break from a monotony, a deeper connection to yourself, because slow growth is still growth and alignment always beats hustle. So if we look at your lake house, again, as an example, it's like you have been talking about this for years. And by finally doing it, it gave you a sense of control. I mean, I think for you, do you think it breaks up the monotony? Like it gives you guys purpose and things to do on a weekend when you don't have something? Do you
Yeah,
feel
I
like you have
also
a
think
pull to
it's
get to the lake?
It's even my relationship with my husband, us kind of doing a venture together, I think is just deepening our own connection with each other, which has been really great. And, I was thinking about, when I was thinking about this episode, I also can sort of like define this narrative with what I even do as an independent consultant and like why I chose to go out on my own and leave corporate America. And so I think the other part I want everyone to like walk away from this conversation thinking about is this doesn't have to be like, I like making cupcakes. Let me open a bakery. It's these
Right.
small things. It might start as a side hustle that grows into something big. It doesn't have to be something big either. And what you love doesn't have to be something that is a hobby, like we talked about. It might just be that you love connection with people, or I love being a part of a team. And I also love helping companies like find better ways of working. And so figuring out what those things are and kind of thinking about how that really can translate into a pivot of sorts and finding that.
And I think it's just also important because one, you're just taking an opportunity to tap into yourself and give yourself attention. And two, just being able to set aside and prioritize doing something you love, right? Just doing something you
Yes.
love. And
Yes.
our journal prompt for today is, what would you do, even for free, just because you love it? What is one low stakes way that you can start this month? You don't have to quit your job tomorrow, but you do deserve to explore a life where work and joy meet.
That dream you keep putting off, it's not random. It's a nudge from your authentic self. It's telling you, it's that inner voice. You don't want to wait until you're ready. Don't wait until you've got it all figured out. Let it be messy. Lean in. Start small. Start curious. Start now.
And let your passion be the compass towards something more fulfilling. If this episode nudged you toward your dream, we encourage you to send it to a friend to keep that spark alive.
Yeah, chase after those glimmers of joy that'll lead you to these passions, to find some things that really do kind of fill you up. Think about all the things that we talked about in this episode. Really kind of sit that time. I love the idea of the Venn diagram, Jess, too. I think that's a great way to kind of think through pursuing this. So thanks for tuning in today. You can check us out on all the social medias at Chasing Brighter, as well as our blog, chasingbrighter.com. And don't forget to sign up for that newsletter that's on our website as well.
Thanks for listening today. If you loved today's episode, share with a friend. Are you ready to chase brighter days ahead? Subscribe to Chasing Brighter now, and let's embark on this exciting journey together.